Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You look like a centrist and you act like one too. Welcome to the Radical Centrist. I am your host, Gail Chulo, reporting live from Florida, New York, back with another episode of Questionable Facts, the series where I take a question that a Twitter follower tweets at me and I analyze it, break it down, do some research, and see if I can come up with an answer in the most nonpartisan way possible. And I'm just going to put the trigger warning out there right off the bat. If you are somebody who is queasy when it comes to subject matters pertaining to body parts and bodily functions that are located below the equator, then I would recommend turning off this video and giving it a dislike as quickly as possible. And then we'll be good to go. So we're going to take a look at a question that was tweeted at me from Kyle Gatortier, and it says, "Hi Gail, do you think it's possible that Chris Christie has IBS? Thanks for all that you do. Love you." That's a really good question. Thanks, Kyle. Love you too, buddy. So I always thought that I knew what IBS was. I always thought it stood for Irish blood skin because that's what I have. I have like that bloody red Irish skin. But it's actually something completely different that I wasn't aware of. Irish blood skin is not even a thing. I guess it's something I must have made up in a dream or something. But before we get into whether or not Chris Christie has this, let's actually talk about who Chris Christie is because you've probably never heard of him. But he is a former governor of New Jersey. Really cool guy, really sassy motherfucker. So former governor, former president of the United States, or actually he ran for president. He didn't win. I wish he was president because then we'd still be in Afghanistan. But you know, he is a pretty overweight guy, so it is possible that somebody like him could suffer from IBS. So before we get into whether or not he has it, we need to take a little look into what IBS is and see if Chris Christie could have some symptoms pertaining to that. So let's take a look here. Irritable bowel syndrome is what it stands for, I guess. And some things that people may experience: pain in the abdomen. The pain can be recurring, change in bowel habits, constipation, a bunch of other really gross stuff that I don't even want to talk about. But there's a couple here that I think are some indicators that he might have it, and there are a couple that indicate that he might not. So one of them, all the way at the bottom, you can see is a decrease in appetite, which is certainly not true. It just takes a simple Google search to see that that's not the case with him. But another one that I did see was passing excessive amounts of gas. And this one is pretty interesting because I spent about 13 hours yesterday just doing a lot of research on this, seeing if I could find something that really gives us a clear answer. And I stumbled on this video that is very telling. And we're going to watch the whole thing, and I want to see what you guys think of it. So let me get that up. Actually, before we get into that, though, we actually have a sponsor for the very first time today. So really quick, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors over at Underdog Plumbing in Thomas, New York. Really great plumbing service. They came to my house the other day, and they did such a good job that I didn't even want them to leave. So check them out. Look them up online. And if you don't find anything, then just keep looking, and I'm sure something will come up. But let's get to this video. This is really juicy. So this is a video of Chris Christie getting into one of his sassy frames of mind, and he is debating some citizen in New Jersey about something. He's obviously doing, he's really using his time very productively in this. But just watch. I mean, just listen to what's going on in his stomach and his bowels throughout this, and watch the woman behind him because it's very telling. She hears what's going on and she can't keep it together. So here we go.
I can't.
Well, then why
I don't have
would
the
we
authority
vote
to do it.
Republican and
I
you're not gonna do
well,
anything about
well,
it?
you know what? You can
That's why
listen.
we're independent.
You listen. Go in and vote. Go in and vote for whatever you want. I never said I was going to merge the two towns. I understand. You're so frustrated. You know what? The easiest thing in the world. The easiest thing in the world is to stand where you stand and stand on the sidelines and critique. And well, you're not, but you're the one here doing the critiquing. So you know what? You want to merge. You live in Mendon Township. You want to merge Mendon Township and Mendon Borough. Run for the township committee. Run for the township committee in Mendon Township and be the voice to do it. No, I know, because that's too hard. It's easier to sit here. It's easier to sit here and complain.
All right, so he is just really going at it with that woman. That was very fierce and very gloves off of him. And you can hear that there's something bubbling up in his stomach, and it's really going on for a long time. There's all different kinds of tones and timbres and rich undertones going on. And you could see the woman behind him just couldn't even keep a straight face through it because he's just he's so out of control, quite frankly. And I feel really bad for his wife having to deal with that. I mean, can you imagine having to sleep next to that every night? And plus, he's 59 now. So as he gets older, I mean, once he starts losing his organs, it's all over. It's only going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. But to answer Kyle's question, does he have IBS? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. It's really hard to say because that was really the only piece of evidence that I was able to find, like I said, after 13 hours of doing research. And it's hard to say if just because you have a little gassy moment like that, does it mean that you have IBS? I mean, I don't know. I think we've all been there before from time to time. And I don't know about you, but I don't have IBS, at least the second kind. I have the Irish blood skin, definitely have that, but I don't have irritable bowel syndrome. I definitely don't have that. Yeah, really hard to say, but a great question and a really great intellectual exercise looking into that. So, yeah, that's a great question. If anybody else wants to tweet a question at me, I'm on Twitter at RadicalCentristGale. And that is our episode for today. So this is Gale Chulo reminding you to stay grounded and stay centered. This is the Radical Centrist.